Hello friends, this video on subject and predicate part 2 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So let us talk about the subject in imperative sentences. So we have already discussed in one of our previous videos what are imperative sentences. Those type of sentences where we give some requests or orders or commands. So they are all imperative sentences. Now, in imperative sentences, the subject is understood and hence not mentioned. So, there is no subject which is mentioned in the sentence. For example, close the door. This is an imperative sentence because we are giving an order to somebody to close the door. Right? Now, here, what is the subject? Now, you might feel at the first instance, you might feel that this sentence is all about the door. So, the door should be the subject. But that is not the case. In this case, as I said, what is the verb? The verb here is close, right? Now, before the verb, add who or what, right? Like, who closed the door? I mean, to whom are you asking to close the door? Now, when I say close the door, I am basically asking to the other person in front of me. Right? Now, when do we use imperative sentences? When we have somebody in front of us. Only then we give some order or only then we make some requests. Right? So, whom are we telling? We are basically telling to the person in front of us or to a second person. So, in this sentence, the subject is you, which is understood and therefore not mentioned. For example, let's say that this person is standing here and there is a little girl standing here, right? Now the person is asking this girl to close the door. So the person says close the door. So to whom is he telling to close the door? He is telling this to this little girl. So from this person's perspective, he is trying to tell you close the door, right? So whenever we we use any imperative sentence, the subject in that case is you. Now since it is understood, therefore you is not mentioned. So what is this called? This type of subject is called understood subject. And what do we mean by understood subject? That means it is so obvious that this would be the subject that the subject is not at all mentioned. Like here, it is so obvious that you is the subject that it is not at all mentioned. So that is called understood subject. Let us take one more example. Get me a glass of water. So this basically means you get me a glass of water. So you in this case is the subject. Get me a glass of water is the predicate. So in all the imperative sentences, the subject is understood and therefore it is not mentioned. So whatever we see in the sentence is the predicate. So this is our first special case of imperative sentences. Now let us move on to the interrogative sentences. What are interrogative sentences? Those sentences where we ask some questions. So in those kind of sentences, how do we find out the subject? For example, are you ready to go to school? Now in the simple sentences, we mostly see that the verb comes after the subject. However, that is not a mandatory rule because there are some other types of sentences where you might even see that a verb comes even before the subject. For example, if you look at this interrogative sentence, are you ready to go to school? So what is the subject in this case? So basically the sentence is talking about whom? The sentence is talking about you, right? So in this case, you is the subject. And the remaining part of the sentence is the predicate. Now in this case, so how did we find out that you is the subject here? Now what is the verb here? Okay, are is a verb, ready is also a verb and go is again a verb. Now if you again frame a question putting who or what before the verb, so you might ask that who is ready to go to school? Right? So who is ready? So we are talking about you. So you is the subject here and the remaining part of the sentence is predicate. Now let's look at one more interrogative sentence. Did the teacher call you? So again we are asking a question. Did the teacher call you? So what is the verb here? So verb here, okay, you have did, you also have call. So you might ask who called you? Right? So if you put who or what before the verb, so the approximate question that would be framed is who called you? So the teacher called you, right? So in this case, the teacher would be the subject and the remaining part would be the predicate. Similarly, one more example, have they finished the homework? So can you tell me what is the subject in this case? Now also another thing is that whenever we are talking about sentences which are in active voice, so by now all of you know what is active voice and passive voice because we have already discussed them in one of the previous videos. Now in active voice sentences, mostly the subject would also be the doer of the action. That means the subject is only doing something. So in this case, have they finished the homework? So in this case, what is the subject? So who is the doer of the actions? The action here is to finish the homework. So who is finishing the homework? They. So therefore, they is the doer of the action and they is also the subject. And the remaining part of the sentence is a predicate. Right? So whenever you have sentences in active voice, you have an additional clue that whoever is the doer of the action will be the subject. However, that will not hold true for sentences in passive voice. Right? So, okay. So that was an additional clue for us. Okay, now let's move on to those types of sentences where we have multiple subjects. Yes, that is also very much possible that you have one sentence, but in the same sentence you have multiple subjects. So a sentence can have more than one subject. Let's take this example. Ankit and Mohit are friends. So in this case, what is the subject? So for that, how do we identify subject? For that, first we identify the verb, and the verb here is are. So who are friends? If you frame this question, so the answer would be Ankit and Mohit. So Ankit and Mohit in this case is the subject. Now these are like two subjects. Ankit is a subject, Mohit is also a subject. So Ankit and Mohit together is a subject. So this type of subject is called compound subject. So this is not a simple subject but a compound subject. Right? Now let's take one more example. I shall read and she will write the paragraph. So you are saying that I shall read and she will write the paragraph. So in this case, what is the subject? Who is the doer of the action? So obviously I am the doer of the action because I am reading, and also she is the doer of the action because she is writing. So I am reading, so I am the doer of the action. She is writing, so she is the doer of the action. So in this case, again, you have multiple subjects. I is also a subject, she is also a subject, and also this sentence has multiple verbs, like shall read is a verb, and again will write is also a verb. So you have two subjects, you have two verbs in this sentence. So this is very much possible that you have one sentence with multiple subjects, one verb. It is also possible that you have one sentence with multiple subjects, multiple verbs. This is also possible that you have one sentence with one subject but multiple verb. So let's look at that example like that. I shall read and then write the paragraph. So in this case, who is the doer of the action? I. So I is the subject. And what are the verbs? So you have two verbs, read and write. So in this is an example of a sentence where you have one subject but multiple verbs. So all of these scenarios are possible, right? So as I was telling you that subject and predicate is not as simple as a lot of you think. So there are many different types of sentences where finding out the subject might be a tedious task. Like in these kind of examples, many times people would think that, okay, I shall read and she will write the paragraph. In this case, I is the subject. But they forget to find that she is also a subject in this case, right? So this is one special scenario.
Thank you. Please visit examfear.com for free quality education. You can learn with a simple 4-step learning process wherein you can watch video lessons, you can ask your questions, you can refer notes, and you can take a free online test. We have content for class 6 to 12 on physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology along with practical videos. So please subscribe to our channel for daily updates. Thank you.